Hi, everybody. Are you looking for new free science fiction and fantasy to get you through the holiday weekend? Well, post-holiday weekend? We've got them. Today, we'll be reviewing the top 5 best-selling free science fiction and fantasy books on Amazon. And the top book is a story by a USA Today best-selling author about a rogue star about to swing through our solar system and knock Earth out of its orbit. But before we get to all that, I want to welcome you to the MetaStellar YouTube channel. My name is KOROLOV. I'm the editor here at MetaStellar. Every single Friday, the team here reads the first few chapters of the books on top of Amazon's free sci-fi and fantasy list. Today, I was helped by essays editor Noreen Brennan and assistant fiction editor Terrence Smith. And Terrence is here with us today. Hi, Terrence.
I don't know why I do these things.
You do this because you don't want me to be lonely all by myself. And so
I do it because she has like hypnotizing psychic powers.
Yes. All right. The link to the full article and to all the books is in the description box below. For those who are new, MetaStellar is an online magazine of speculative fiction. All the content is always free for our readers. We publish original short fiction, reprints, excerpts, essays, and lots of book reviews like these. We're able to do this and keep all the content completely free thanks to our Patreon supporters. And today, thanks to the advice of our new marketing advisor, I am wearing a MetaStellar t-shirt, and I have my MetaStellar coffee mug because we have merch, and I also have copies of both of our anthologies. The first year anthology.
Give us your money.
Anthology. We're working on our third one right now. All right, so let's get into the reviews. Let's book number 5. And let me make that a little bit bigger for all you guys. There you go. All right, the book is Deadly Awakening by G.K. Lund, the first of 4 books in the Ashdale Reaper series of urban fantasy. The other books are $5 each, and they're not in Kindle Unlimited. Kindle Unlimited is where you pay $12 a month and you read all the books you want, but you have to be like an Amazon kind of person in the Amazon ecosystem. But it is a good deal for both readers and writers because the writers get paid and you don't have to pay any extra for the books. I'm in Kindle Unlimited because I read a lot and I do recommend it. But there are plenty of other options. As Terrence keeps reminding us, there are other bookshops other than Amazon, but these books are only free on Amazon today. Okay, so this book, I thought it was going to be like the Dresden Files, judging by the cover, but it is not. So we start out with a guy named Ben on a bridge. He's about to jump off. And our protagonist, the narrator here, is death, literally death. Death is, for some reason, floating around watching this guy on a bridge. And death doesn't show up to every death, but there's something about this particular death. And when Ben jumps off the bridge, death follows him down. And we don't know why. Death doesn't know why. And jumps into Ben's body. And when death wakes up, it's in Ben's body, doesn't know why, doesn't know what's going on, and can't get out. And it doesn't have any of Ben's memories. It just knows that it's not human. And it tries really hard to get out of this body and can't. And so people think that it's Ben who has amnesia because he fell off the bridge. So, but his death is really mysterious because when people first found him, he was dead. He had a ton of broken bones, and there was another dead body nearby, like a mafia guy. Ben's a writer. And so the police think it's connected. And then all of a sudden, Ben's perfectly fine, no broken bones. And they take him to the hospital to see what's going on anyway, decide that he's got amnesia, eventually send him home, where Ben, or aka Death, in Ben's body is walking around Ben's apartment trying to figure out what's going on. So I'm a few chapters into this, and there's still nothing has happened. The police are frustrated and have no leads about what happened. And we find out like minor things about Ben's life, like he likes his coffee black and he's right-handed. So I might stick with it to see if the pace picks up. If you like your urban fantasy slower paced, you can check it out. The writing is engrossing and does pull you in, but it's very, very slow. All right, next we have In Plain Sight by Dan Willis, the first of 10 books in the Arcane Casebook Noir Urban Fantasy series. The other books are $2 to $5 each, and they're all in Kindle Unlimited. The 10th book will come out in April and is available for pre-order, and Terrence read this one. Terrence, what did you think?
Well, first off, the only reason I picked this book was that the cover art kind of reminded me of BioShock. It has that same kind of aesthetic. And the way it's set up is that it starts out as a pretty standard, I don't want to say cliche, but archetypal noir story. You have the jaded detective, the beautiful secretary. You have this murder case that he's on. But the twist here is that it's an alternative 1930s New York where magic is commonplace, and the detective Alex Lockerby's particular magic is rune writing, meaning that he knows how to create these magical runes to take on certain effects, and basically he gets called into the he gets called into a case by detective at the police department. And what this is going to lead into is that there's going to be some kind of plague going through the city, and Alex has to crack the case and stop it. I think like I said, the writing's kind of cliche, but there's a reason these tropes have been used so much, because people love these kinds of tropes. And I think the descriptions of the magic and the rune writing are pretty interesting. Basically, the Empire State Building has been converted into this one giant power generator, and rune circles are drawn all around the city with the tower at the center. So that's how the city gets its electricity. Like this is, I guess this is as if Nikola Tesla never existed, essentially. So I will say that I am intrigued by the mystery at the end of chapter 2. There's something eating the back of Alex Lockerby's mind, regarding a notepad he finds at the crime scene. I'm curious as to what that is about. And I also like Alex's secretary, Leslie Tompkins, who had trouble finding work for a couple years until Alex took her on. And although he hired her, she's pretty much the one in charge in the office. So I enjoy that dynamic between the two of them. So anyway, it's good stuff. It's worth taking a peek if you're into noir stories or magic or steampunk or Bioshock in my case.
I took a look at this book too because I also like the cover, and I totally agree with Terrence on everything he said. I love the setting, I love the characters, I love the dynamic between the private eye with magic and the non-magical but like drop dead beautiful secretary who's also smart. It's very much a modern sensibility in their relationship, but in this 1930s setting. Very, very enjoyable. I highly recommend it. This is a book that I will be reading, even though it wasn't on my list. I do enjoy it. The next book, not as much. All right, let me make that bigger for you guys. This is Empire of Shadows by Vincent Valentean, a standalone book of EMP survival. The author has been on our list before plenty of times. EMP survival books do really well on Amazon, and we review them a lot here at Free Friday. But the guy who usually does these for us wasn't around today, so it came down to me. I do not like books of EMP survival. I do not like dystopian futures.
We are in a dystopian future.
I like escapist
It's not supposed to be
reading.
based on a true story.
I want something that doesn't remind me of real life. So, and my particular problem with some EMP books is that when the blast hits, and an EMP is electromagnetic pulse that kills all electronics but leaves living things untouched. So radios die, TVs die, cell phones die, most cars die, and everyone's like, oh my God, what happened? And in some of these books, the protagonist is a tough guy who's prepared for an EMP attack. When his cell phone goes dead and he says, oh my God, there's been an EMP attack. I knew it. And he pulls out all his guns and he kills everyone before they kill him. It's a very kind of macho story. And whenever I read these, I'm like, yeah, your phone died at the same time as your truck. Therefore, it's an EMP attack. Civilization has collapsed and you have to kill everybody before they kill you. Yeah, right.
Maybe it's just bad luck.
I know, right?
Not
right?
impossible.
So this is that story. The protagonist is a mafia boss with a heart of gold. He doesn't sell drugs to minors, and he doesn't engage in human trafficking, but he's fine with murdering people. And he loves his wife and daughter, although he's like really mean and kind of possessive and creepy about his daughter. Like, he doesn't let her do anything, but he loves his family, so he's okay. Yeah, I do not like this guy at all. So he's raided by the FBI right after killing somebody. He's surrounded by a whole bunch of witnesses. His fingerprints are on the murder weapon, literally a smoking gun kind of situation. And the FBI has him dead to rights, and they're driving him through the city, and the EMP attack hits. And immediately the guy's like, I knew it. It's an EMP attack. Society is going to collapse. Good thing I'm ready. And you know he's going to go all macho man on everybody and kill everybody and get his family out of the city. And his daughter, who hates him for being so controlling is now going to realize that he was right all along. Like, oh my God, yeah, right. Not for me, absolutely not. But it is a very, very popular kind of book. I think the idea of something destroying all of electronics is a fun fantasy for people. So if you're into that, I think you'll love the book. And also, my personal feelings about the protagonist aside, I think it would make a great movie, and I would actually go see it. The writing is very cinematic, it's very well paced, and pretty action-packed. So if this is your genre, pick it up, it's free. Next, we have Fresh Blood by Angela Roquet, a box set of the first 3 books in the 8-book Blood Vice urban fantasy series by USA Today bestselling author. The other books are $4 each, and they're not in Kindle Unlimited. And the author has been on our list before. So the book starts with a cop, Jenna, dying on the floor of an abandoned warehouse basement. Her partner is already dead. And there's a meth head, or maybe a bath salts user, gnawing on her throat. And with the last bit of strength, she squeezes off another round into the guy, and he kills her. Then she wakes up because, why would she die right away in the beginning of a book? She wakes up naked in the county morgue with a coroner about to slice into her because she's been dead for hours. But all her injuries are mysteriously healed, and the coroner wants to call the doctor or call the police captain, everything else. She talks him out of it and makes him drive her home. So she's in a pretty bad state. She's lost her partner. She doesn't know how she'll break the news to her or his family. And also her mother was also a cop and not in a job. So she's got some emotional baggage that she's living with here. When she comes home, she discovers that there's somebody already there, a girl who had been at the warehouse where she died. The girl must have stolen Jenna's keys and broken into her apartment. And the girl knows something about the case. So Jenna knows that she's off the case. I mean, she's a victim in the case and her partner's dead. And the girl is now her only lead. So she wants to interrogate the girl and get everything out of it that she knows. And the case that she was on was about finding some kidnapped women. So Jenna drinks some orange juice while she's talking to this girl, and then immediately vomits all up. And the girl tells Jenna that Jenna is now a bloodsucker. So Jenna doesn't believe her because, she's got some common sense. She tries drinking water. Same thing happens. And she freaks out and thinks she's caught some weird contagious disease. And also that the girl is nuts. Then her captain shows up. He's mad that she didn't go to the emergency room. And also he tells her that the FBI has taken over the case and that she's on leave for next month and needs to get cleared by the department shrink before she can go back on duty. She talks him out of taking her to the emergency room, which I don't understand. I mean, if this happened to me, I'd be yelling for the doctor the minute I woke up. But anyway, so that's her situation. It looks like she's a vampire now, and she's going to investigate this case on her own for her personal emotional reasons. And I like her. I like the setting. I like the book. I like the author. I've read some of her author's other books, and I recommend it. And I'm probably going to be sticking with it. Okay, before we go on, I want to thank our Patreon supporters for making our publication possible. And also thanks to you guys, we're able to publish around 24 original fiction stories that Terrence here helped judge. Well, I was one of the judges too, but Terrence helped with the whole selection process. And we had nearly 600 submissions this cycle. So keep an eye out. The stories have already begun going up on our site, thanks to these guys. So we love you. Thank you so much for supporting us. Really appreciate it. And you can also support us by buying our merch. Okay. Let's go on to book number 1 on today's list. Frozen Earth by Jasper T. Scott is the first of 2 books in the Rogue Star science fiction series, and the author is also a USA Today bestselling author. The other book is $4, and it's not in Kindle Unlimited. Noreen Brenner read this for us, and she says that it's about a brown dwarf star that's been traveling through space for eons and is about to pass through our solar system. It's a burnt-out, cold cinder that originated in a very distant galaxy. It was discovered in 2021, and it's going to take a while for it to get close to Earth. And then we jump ahead to 2031, and that star is getting closer. Meanwhile, our protagonist, Logan, he's a magazine editor. He's on his way home from his job in Manhattan. He and his wife live in an affluent suburb. And the problem is that Logan has just been fired from his position, and he has to break the news to his wife. And on the train home, he sees that somebody has a newspaper, and the headline is that NASA has discovered something that's headed for Earth. So he shrugs this off with a laugh, and he's thinking about how he's going to break the bad news to his wife about the whole job thing. And then when he gets home, he catches her in bed with a neighbor. So bad news all around. And then the next couple of chapters, he confronts his wife, he drives away, gets drunk at a motel, and then he wakes up in the middle of the night because his phone is ringing, and his wife is talking to him. Supposedly, she says she heard the aliens are heading for Earth, and she wants him to come home to protect his family from looters because there's a mass panic. Meanwhile, the astronomer who originally discovered this is Kate's brother. And then the story is even more complicated because this rogue brown dwarf star is expected to shift the Earth's orbit away from the sun, which will cause our planet to plunge into an ice age. And in response to this, a billionaire is going to create a colony, a refuge for 1,000 of the most intelligent individuals on Earth so they can survive.
Give me the richest.
Yeah, the richest.
Yeah.
Nations are preparing to go to war over access to the land where the climate is warmest. And there's going to be a surprising discovery that complicates everything, according to the description of the book. Noreen said she didn't read that far. It's a slow starting book. But she says that the book will appeal to people who love sci-fi, especially people who love dystopian futuristic science fiction. She prefers more optimistic science fiction, but this particular novel is skillfully written, reads well, and is suspenseful. So she thinks it's a winner, and she's going to stick with it. All right. Now, those are today's books. If you're going to read any of them, let us know in the comments. And if you're not going to read any of them, let us know in the comments as well. I want to thank you, everybody, for joining us. If you want to make sure not to miss any of these, you can subscribe to our channel, or you can subscribe to the MetaStellar Reader newsletter, the link to which is in the description box below, and you would get the article in your email every Friday afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, everybody, thank you so much. Remember to like and subscribe. And Terrence, thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you and everybody else has a great weekend. Bye, everybody.
Bye.